Welcome to No Garage, where in this video I'll be showing you how to put a stereo into that, because that's obviously the first thing it needs. Well, since we're going to be digging into this thing's intimate parts, figured I'd give you a little walk around. This is a 2000 Dodge Dakota RT that has been, as you can see, very well taken care of. That's the part, to keep it good and dry. Can't let the old girl get wet. Speakers. So that means it's probably got a good stereo system in it already. But we'll be replacing that. Ooh. Excellent first class bodywork by somebody that obviously cared very much about quality. She's a beaut. Oof. A little bit of rust there. Just surface. Now, let's get a look at the inside. I've already been working on this truck, and I have cleaned the inside up pretty well so far. It was in pretty bad shape. I'll throw some pictures up, let you see some befores here. There's some boxes of some parts. Let's get that on back. Let me get you on, let you look underneath there. Oof, man. She may be a little ugly, but I tell you what, this girl's beauty is on the inside. Because despite the truck's god awful appearance, under her ugliness is a beauty. Because this particular truck only has 56,000 miles on it. Now the interior did not look like this when I got it, but I tried to snazzy her up a little bit. Now let's pop the hood here. Don't worry, I know, like all the gauges are missing, and pretty much all the inside stuff's gone, but I got it all. I just took it out. Haven't put it back in yet. Well, got some good windshield wiper blades on it. Alright. I think that the windshield wiper blades alone are probably worth the rest of the truck. Oh yeah, brand new. Boom. Now these little RTs, Dakotas, got the big 5.9 Magnum in them, and they are, I don't know, because I know absolutely nothing about Chrysler, but that's okay. I don't really know anything about any other vehicle either. But she should be pretty good little engine considering they don't got any miles on it. Now that you got to know the truck a little bit better, I want to tell you why I'm doing this. And see, I bought this pig. Well, I shut the door, didn't I? Anyway, I bought this pig to put some makeup on it. It maybe make a few bucks. I picked it up for about $3,500. Pretty cheap for these little trucks, considering it's only got 56,000 miles on it. But as you can tell, it was in pretty rough shape. But I kind of want to teach you guys how to be poor, more or less, because we're going to do this on a budget, on a I got no money at all budget. Now, when I said that we were going to do this on a budget, a no money budget, I meant it. Now, you don't have, the radio that's in a truck work fine, but I wanted to splurge a little bit. So if your radio works, then you don't really need to swap it out for an aftermarket unit that probably won't work because it was made by Kung Pao Chicken. But this little job here is what we're going to be putting in there. 35 bucks. Got a little rear view camera that comes with it. Pretty fancy little jobber. Hook your Bluetooths up to it. Answer a phone call with it. Whatever you need to do in the modern day. But the regular radio, this worked just fine. So, and it would work just fine. So you could just leave this in there, you know. Don't gotta spend no money. Okay. Now, this unit is so cheap, there's like literally no information on it on the internet whatsoever, except some Amazon reviews that doesn't really tell you much. But it's a cheap one. It probably don't even work. But I'm not one for hacking and slashing up the wires in a vehicle. So I bought this, which is aftermarket pieces for Chrysler that go into the factory wiring harness. Now, you'll have to look all that stuff up yourself. I'm not the brightest in the box. It took me about a week to figure out what wires go where, especially when you get a handbook with the radio that's 4 pages long. And half of that is in Spanish, and I don't speak Spanish. So, anyway, once I figured out what wires go where, grounds, and all that stuff, I butt connected them together. Now, I know that's not a very best connection, you know, soldering and everything, but you don't need to solder. These connections work just fine. As long as you don't pull and tug on them too hard, they work just fine. And I put a little extra tape on them to help hold them together a little bit because I can be a little rough on the delicates. But once I got it all together, I wanted to do it with the butt connectors and everything. That way, if this ever gives out on me, I can just, you can take a butt connector and you can just pull it right off. Alright. Now, installing butt connectors isn't the most difficult thing in the world, but I'll show you how. Just take your little wire. I like to twist them up just a little bit where they're not sticking out everywhere. And I'll take this little butt connector, put it on there, twist it a little bit just to make sure it's down there all the way. Take you some little wire pliers. These are like the cheapest I could find because, you know. And then you just slide it in the little spot that's made for it on here. And squeeze. And voila! Now, if you do buy this particular little radio. In a reverse camera, you gotta hit in the stereo in order for it to know that you switched to reverse, so it can pop the camera up on her. It should have a reverse detection wire or whatever they call it. I don't know. But anyway, a little wire hanging out of it that says, hey, it's in reverse, turn the camera on. This one don't have one sticking out, as you can see. And the label on it does not tell you which wire is what. So through some very extensive research of shifting through Amazon reviews, I figured out that this wire is serving the purpose of the reverse detection wire, which this thing calls parking sensor control pink. Now, while we're installing the stereo, I'm also going to install some speakers, because the speakers in that truck, they didn't work. Well, I take it back. One of them worked, two of them was blowed out, and one of them didn't work at all. So, while I had the entire interior out, I figured I'd replace the speakers. These speakers, they aren't expensive. I got 4 of them for maybe $70, maybe. So, but they're JVCs. They're pretty decent little jobs to replace the factory speakers. Now, one thing I would like to suggest, if I may, fellas, is don't cut these. If you can avoid it whatsoever, please don't cut your factory wiring harness. You know, you may have to, but if not, I'd recommend avoiding it. Anyway, once you figure out all your wiring, you get everything spliced together, this should just plug right in. Sticking on the ground. Now, one thing I forgot to mention was this little piece around the outside here, it didn't come with the radio. Once I knew you can, when you buy your radio, you can use the dimensions of it to buy these little aftermarket pieces. They're cheap. I give $5 for that. And then this little unit, as I mentioned earlier, come with a backup camera. So what I did was I took there's a giant hole in the bottom of the dash here that I just fed the feed wire for the backup camera through, and then ooh, it is a little bit cold out here. Let's get you down in here in this view here. So what I did was I ran the audio cable through here. I don't like wires hanging out everywhere. I like everything to be nice and pretty. So I run it down through here underneath the dash. You can put it up in there. Can't see it. Run it down here. And run it in behind this kick panel. And I'm running it down through here so far. Now, what I'll do is I'll just keep feeding it up underneath the trim panels. On back. Here. Let me get you in here so you can see what I'm doing. Okay. Well, you can pretty much see what I'm doing. I'm getting around through here, and then I'm going to take that back panel off, because there's some little vents back there that I can feed through to get back outside of the truck and keep the wires hid. Now, see, them little vents, they lead to outside. So I'm gonna run that wire for the reverse camera through those little vents. Then I'll be out in between the cab and the bed. Oh. I got the battery unplugged. Don't be like me. Don't do this. Just hook the battery back up. Yeah. Now, after 20 minutes of unnecessary struggling, we got the wire burger. So, I just realized more like just remembered, I don't exactly fit under here. Gotta bust out the Walmart jack. Now, when you guys use a jack, be sure to use some jack stands. Now, I say we're gonna do things on a budget, cheap. But there's one thing you don't want to cheap out on. Cheap out on your jack stands. I kind of hope it falls on me. But my wife and my kid probably wouldn't want it to fall on me. So I may grab me some jack stands. I had to go get my creeper. You know, makes it a little bit easier rolling around on this smooth concrete garage floor I got here. Alright, now feed me some water, Seymour. Ooh, this would be a really good time to get you fellas under here. Let you see the old beauty. Get you under here and let you hook the leather straps on it here. Take a gander at that frame. You know what? She ain't too shabby on the rust. That is the fattest driveway I believe I've ever seen any. Now, for some reason, Chrysler must have made this rear end out of the cheapest metal they could get a hold of. Cause she's a leaking and a rusty and it's really the only rusty part on the thing. But anyway, alright. Once we got our wire out from under through the bed and pulled down here with some slack in it, we'll run it right across the top of this stuff. Keep it up out of the dirt. I'll get some zip ties and zip tie it to those bolts that are holding up the straps for the gas tank. Because we don't want her flopping around down here, you know. There's gonna be all kinds of stuff flying around underneath the truck. I don't want this little delicate wire getting abused. See? Creeper. Gosh, please. Dropping stuff here. Since a guy took his good jacket off, I'm realizing that it's pretty cold out here. I need to put some heat in this garage. Like a glove. Now, what I plan on doing probably won't work because I don't really know what I'm doing. But this here is my reverse lap. Now, you have a purple and a black. Purple should be power. Black should be ground. So what I'm gonna do is the reverse camera, I'm gonna take some quick splices. Take these quick splices. What you do, you over your other wire. Can you even see there? How can you see? Maybe you can see. Let's see. You put one in there. Snap this up around the other one. Snap it down and juices. We use that to rob a wire power from a reverse. That way when we shift in the reverse, it sends power to the radio so it knows and it can access the camera. This is the reverse camera. Now these two little wires, power, ground. I'm going to take this one and put it wrong way into here like that, and then I'll find my power wire to my reverse light and slip this in over it, clamp her down, and that should let me rob power off of that reverse light. Now when it comes to grounds, I kind of like to ground out on the body or the frame itself, but to keep everything nice and neat, I think I'm just going to ground this the same way as I'm robbing power from this. So then what you need to do is, oh yes, one other thing I should say, is these are weatherproof. Quick splitzes. We'll find out just exactly how weatherproof they are, because they're going to be a dangling. Yeah. So now I'm not the picky fellow when it comes to what do you think here? You know what? I should have thought of this before I decided to try to teach somebody else how to do it. Should have figured out how to do it myself. But I tell you what, it makes a good learning experience. We will be learning together. Now, me, I can back up. My wife, not so much. So, I'm doing this for her. You're doing it for her. Had to go get a measuring stick. We'll put it here. I think I found her where I'm gonna mount her. I don't know about you fellas, but I think I'm possessed by like gremlins. They just follow me around, and anytime I lay something down, the moment I turn my back to it, they grab it and they hide it, because I can't keep up with nothing. So, went and got this drill that somebody else bought for me. other screw. Now this screw doesn't match because the other matching screw, you need a microscope to see it. And I dropped it in the gravels. And I don't got the best eyesight. After digging through my junk, I found this piece of heat shrink wrap. So what I'm gonna do is measure this, put the other one is the same size. So measure this one with that one, then I snip it. And when we get, I'll put it on there. When we get everything hooked together, we'll slide it back up there. Put some heat on her. Should help keep the weather out. Readjusting paper. I hope that big chunk right there. Oh yeah, probably alright. Oh, that's good. Get on the back. Almost forgot. Did you make those noises? It does nothing. Makes it feel better. Whoa. Whew. Whoops. Okie dokie. Artichoke. No. Kind of ruined that one on the exhibit. No, that ain't right. Demonstration purposes. Kind of ruined it on demonstration purposes. Let's just get on that finger. Stick it in there. Excuse me. Want some more bread? Come on. Come on. get you in here so you can see. Got those jobbers on there. Hot ground. Now, that little camera down there should get power. Now, that way I don't have to get you into the truck. I'll show you from this point of view. Now, on the other end of this reverse camera hookup, it looks just like this. On the other end of this is this. And this little wire, you need to get power to it also. So I'm going to splice it into the reverse camera wire, pretty much the same way I did with the way I powered it to the reverse light. And then I'll connect this pink wire to that wire, and when I put it in reverse, it should send power from the reverse light to the camera up to the stereo so that it knows to switch and give us the view of the camera. I got her all done. So let's get you up under here so you can see. I got to run. Oh yeah. Now that we have, get out of here. Now, since the jack didn't give out and kill me, I managed to make it back up here. It's time to plug this bad boy in and see if our hard work had paid off. Seeing as how I'm me-tarded, I almost forgot a step. Yeah. Hit. Let's plug this in. That's the. I gotta plug this in. There we go. Dookie. Now, I hope that the little Chinese kid that put this together knows what optional means, because this should be, you can plug these into either one of these and it'll still work. So let's give her a go. Give her a go. Plug in the antenna. Plug in this jobber. Stuff her in there. Alright, that'll work for now. Let's see. And I don't smell any fire. We got some action.
At the storm and why is it now?
She's working.
Yeah, it was a rare event. Again, we knew the storm was coming, but not expected to dump as much water as it did. The National Weather Service said in some areas.
Well, we didn't quite get her done today, but I think I'm gonna call it quits here. Everything seems to be working except the reverse camera. I'm not getting power to my reverse lights. Could be a fuse, could be something simple, could be something complicated. I don't really know. But anywho, I'm gonna call it quits here, seeing as how I'm so tired. You know, after pulling a night shift at the old soul crushing factory, I'm beat. So I'm gonna call it for today, and we'll get you back here tomorrow and see if we can figure out what's going on with them reverse lights. Well, it's day 2 of working on the huge financial mistake, called a Dodge Dakota. Well, it's day 2 for you. It's more like a week later for me, because I have been having to work on that massive mother. About lost my cool there. Anyway, last time we worked on it, we was installing a stereo, a cheap, you know, made by a Chinese kid stereo. And when we went to test the reverse camera out, we hooked all that up, hooked all the wires up, and then when I put it in reverse lights didn't come on to power the camera. So I've been trying to figure that out. Because this truck is a special edition, they can't put nothing on it that is the same as any of the other trucks. So basically, I've been prodding this wire, prodding that wire, testing this wire, testing that wire, taking this sensor out, taking that sensor. Finally, I managed to find a neutral safety switch on the transmission, and that's what controls the reverse lights. So that's what we'll be fixing here in just a moment. Now, apparently somebody's left a good battery on this truck and let it sit for most of its life. With a good battery, I'm assuming, because every electrical component, connector, plug-in on this truck, corroded. All of them. Like, I've never seen anything like it in my life. It's crazy. Every electrical connector on the truck has corrosion on it. So, I'm assuming this electrical connector isn't going to be any different. So before we go and spend $40 on a neutral safety switch, we're going to clean it, plug it back up, and see if that works. To clean the electrical plug, I'm just going to use a little brass brush, and usually I use a little pick, but given as how corroded these things are, I'm just going to go with a tiny flat blade screwdriver, and hopefully we can get in there, clean it up a little bit, plug it back together, good to go. Save us some $40. Given as how my garage has a tiny leak in it when it rains, I want to get the creeper, that way, you know, I keep my back dry. Wish I was rich. Okay, now that we're down here, this little piece right here, that goes into this. It's your plug-in. There's power going to the plug-in, but you see that? Look at that. It's like, God, man, it's just eat up with corrosion. So, we'll take this little jobber. See if we got squeezer down in there. That's probably doing absolutely nothing. And then we'll try to get in there and be very gentle. You do not want to bend these little prongs, just in case it does work. But essentially, what this does is this sends power into this, and when you put it into reverse, it knows. When it goes into reverse, it closes a little switch in there and sends power out. And that's what turns your reverse lights on. I've already tested it by jumping this over. You take, can't remember which one's got the power coming out, but anyway, find whichever one has power coming out and just take you a little wire, like 18 gauge wire or something, stick in there and then jump it over to here and watch your reverse lights. And they should come on. And mine did in this case, so this little switch right here has to be the problem. Now, most vehicles, the neutral safety switch only has 2 prongs and is located on top of the transmission. But we got to be different and put it down here on a neutral safety switch. And get out of my way, buddy. Get up there. There I go. Quits a dangling around on me. Oh, I'll cut out the boring part. Once I got that good and clean, from what I could tell, them prongs should be pretty cleaned off. We'll spray down with, I'll use electrical connector cleaner. Spray down real good and get all that gunk that I couldn't scrape out there out. We got the WD Doherty Specialist contact cleaner. What you want to do is spray this like as close to your face as possible, because I would say it's quite good for you to breathe in and get in your eyes and stuff, you know. That cleans electrical connectors. It should be able to clean eyeballs. I'm just kidding. Don't do that. That's retarded. Okay, let that dry. Alright. Let's clean this little end out. Alright. I about forgot that one. I just jam her back in there. All dirty and whatnot. I'll clean her with the towel. Oh, yeah. Oh, breathe it in. Oh, breathe it in. Ah. We're back. Nothing happened. Tastes good. Good job, WD Doherty. Your electrical connector cleaner. Good for the lungs. Tastes good. Refreshes the eyeballs. You know what? Let's plug her up and try it. Take the battery yet. Well, that did nothing. So, guess what we'll be doing today? Hey, here's a fuse, dude. Dang, it's good too. Back pocket. Well, a feller popped on over to O'Reilly's and ordered a neutral safety switch. It'll be here later today. But until we can put that in, I got some other stuff I need to do. So, instead of just having this hanging out in the weather, bought some of this cheapo corrugated wire stuff. We are gonna protect her up here. Now that we got that protected up just a tad, I can worry about rubbing holes in it or throwing mud on it. While I was redoing the interior and I had everything gutted out of here, I went ahead and replaced the speakers in the back. Those. Put some new speakers in the back. before I put all this back in here. But it's pretty simple. It's not complicated, but I'm gonna show y'all how to do it. And these speakers, they're pretty cheap, so you can get them for a little bit of nothing. These are them, you know, they're probably like $60 worth of 4 speakers. And the only reason why I bought them so I had everything out. Most of these speakers was blowed out anyway. That one didn't work, and that one was blowed out. That one worked. This one didn't work. So, hey, you know, 1 out of 4 ain't bad. Okay. So these are down there, just little 6.5s. Little 6.5s. That's all you need. You don't need no big boom booms. These will do just fine. Now, installing these aftermarket speakers is pretty simple on these old Chryslers. You can buy these. These are like little adapters that plug right into your factory wiring harness and has your positive and negative that goes to the back of your speaker. And these are pretty dummy proof. You have the large one that's positive and the small one that's a negative. And all you gotta do, you take your speaker out and it comes with these little screws. Take your old speaker out, line your little face plates up, and then you buy these. Now these are these that are made to go right into the factory bolt holes on your stock, on your factory speaker mounts. This goes right in there, look at it. Get these little screws they send with you. Drive those little screws through here, and it'll hold them together, and then you mount this on there. Taking these door panels off are pretty simple in these old trucks. Just got a little bolt here. It's a little star nut, whatever you guys call them. I don't know. Start big. Take that out. What's my name? And let me take on bang. Alright. Then they get your door panel off after you take that little screw out and that little screw out, and then you got this. You just pop that little metal piece down, and it pops this loose, and then you can wiggle it through there. And then on the back side for your door handle, you have this. Yeah, I'm a moron. Okay, you have this, which your door handle thingy clips into and pops down in there. You just pop all that loose. You can figure it out. It doesn't take a rocket scientist. Okay, then here's your speaker. We ain't gotta take that out. Take this screw out. This screw out. Now this truck did have its original little plastic in here, but it was so freaking dry rot that I accidentally breathed on it, and then it into a million pieces. You may want to be careful with that if you want to keep it. I don't really care. While I'm in here, I may wipe it down with a rag again. I done cleaned it once, but you know, it sits here forever and ever as I'm a poor broke on me. And your little stock speaker comes out. Just unplug it there. Do with it what you want. Yeah. You know, I want to do it your own way because I am not the brightest. So. Alright. So what you do is you just work it around there until you find you line your bolt holes up close enough that it helps to have a drill, but it's not necessary. But you'll see what I'm doing. You pop these little screws through here. Pop the little screws through there. You gotcha. 4 screws in there. Pop her in there. There you go. And your speaker's in there. Now we just got to do the other side. Alright. Forgot a crucial step. Got to plug her in, won't work if she ain't plugged in. Got one on there. It's that simple. Bam! New speaker. Off to the other side. This stuff's gold in a can. Now, let's see if we can pump up the jams. Pump up the jams. Pump up the jams. All right. Four new speakers. Several hours and $40 later, we got our little nuisance problem solver. So we'll pop that on there, and that should fix our little reverse light problem and get our reverse camera working. Because, you know, I don't care about being compliant with road rules as much as I care about getting my $5 backup camera working. Now, when you go to pull that thing off here, you're going to need a 1-inch deep well socket, because the engineers managed to put that in such a great spot that you can't get anything else on it. Wrench, adjustable wrench. The only thing you can get on there is a socket. So, just pull. This off there. Alright. Uh-oh. It's a little bit of shift juice coming out there. And I didn't bring a drip pan. Or did I? Okie dokie. We're going to try and do this fast. Hold one out, new one in. 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 Hold one out. Hold one out. New one in. Now let's make sure we ain't missing nothing here. Yeah, you see it? That should be stuck out. That should be stuck out constantly, like on the new one. But I got the new one in there holding in the shift juice. Now, I don't want to take it out and show you, but that should be sticking out constantly, which means this was indeed bad. Well, at least that just means now I know I didn't waste my money. Don't worry, all this ATF you just seen pour out onto the ground will be properly recycled. I mean, pour out into the drip pan. Bingo. Should have fixed the problem. Moment of truth. Shall the hours of extensive research on Google pay off? Now, so that we got that fixed, should, when I shift this in reverse, this stereo should pop into reverse camera mode. And nothing. Alright, moment of truth once again. Those quick splice connectors suck. Well, at least the ones I bought did. So I had to go back and actually splice everything together properly. Like cut it, pull it, twist it together, put a connector on it, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, moment of truth once again. Nothing. Ah! It works! It works! It works! It works! It's working! Ha ha! Nothing like the feeling of accomplishment. Now let's go on in the drive, see what happens. Ha! There we are. Back to radio. And up to park. Reverse. Boom. Got it. Awesome. Now the only thing left to do is mount it in here. Alright, now that we got our reverse camera working properly on our stereo, we need to put the final touch-ups of actually installing the stereo, and that's actually installing the stereo. So in these little Dodge Dakotas, you got a little bolt here and a little bolt here, and that's it. That's all that holds the stereo in. So one of these little universal things, just make sure you got to snip off these extra ones you don't need, and then make sure that you don't snip off the ones you do, and it's just these two, and it just mounts right in. Well, we finally got our name brand stereo and reverse camera installed into our truck. So I guess that'll call it quits for this video, but in the next one I think we will finish buttoning up the interior. There's still a little bit I got to do to it, like installing the rest of the dash and a few other little things I'll tag in along with. But for now, bye.